Your name isn't just a sound anymore. It's a storm carried on every tongue. It doesn't enter a room, it bends the air, breaks the silence, poisons the comfort of those who once laughed at you. Every whisper of it feels heavier now, because it carries scars, battles, and truths too sharp to ignore. You didn't ask for this weight. You earned it in the shadows, where nobody was watching. They tried to bury your presence in doubt, but now your existence rattles like thunder under their fragile ceilings. They can't even think of you without their stomachs twisting in unease. You were once invisible, weren't you? A background figure, a forgotten name drifting in the noise. But invisibility is the perfect camouflage, the perfect silence before the explosion. And when you struck back, you didn't just return. You returned as a warning, a ghost draped in chaos, a reminder that the overlooked are the most dangerous. They thought silence meant surrender, but you turned silence into a knife. And now they hear you everywhere. Every scar etched across your mind is more than memory. It's a map of pain turned into fire, of humiliation forged into rebellion. You didn't just survive, you weaponized suffering. Each betrayal, each moment they thought they broke you, became the hammer that sharpened your edge. You carry rage like others carry breath, and it shows. It drips from your voice, it lingers in your eyes, it stains your presence with undeniable gravity. That is why your name weighs more than theirs combined. Look at them when you walk in. Watch how their eyes shift, their throats tighten, their posture cracks. They see themselves reflected in you, their fears, their wasted years, their cowardice. You've become the mirror they hate to look at because in you they see everything they could have been, but weren't brave enough to chase. It's not your words that burn them, it's your existence. It's proof that someone who was underestimated, dismissed, forgotten, came back untouchable. You are not who you were yesterday. That's what terrifies them most. You broke patterns they're still choking on. You tore through cycles they keep recycling like old excuses. Every day you shift, you grow, you evolve into something sharper, darker, more unshakable. That evolution makes you unpredictable, and unpredictable is dangerous. They hate it. They fear it. They envy it, but they can't deny it. Your presence rewrites the script every single time. And so, your name is no longer light. It's a crown carved from the storms you've survived. You don't wear gold. You wear the weight of memory, scars, defiance. Authority wasn't handed to you. You took it, bled for it, clawed through fire for it. That's why your story lingers in their minds like smoke after a fire. You didn't just make an impact, you left a scar on the timeline, and whether they curse it or praise it, one truth remains. Your name just got heavier, much heavier. They thought they could box you in, limit you, keep you predictable, but you've become something far more terrifying. A moving target that refuses to be pinned down. You're not a person to them anymore. You're a force. A distortion in their carefully crafted reality. The weight of your presence isn't in your voice. It's in the silence before you speak. That silence is loaded, heavy, suffocating. They know when you open your mouth, truth will come out sharp enough to cut bone. And nobody is safe from that cut. Every room you step into feels smaller because you're in it. Not because you take up space, but because you take up energy. You drain their illusions. You shatter their comfort. You make them realize the world doesn't revolve around their fragile egos. It orbits the gravity of your aura. They can't admit it out loud, but they feel it. They sense the storm hidden in your grin, the chaos humming under your breath. That unpredictability keeps them on edge. One wrong move and you'll remind them who they're really dealing with. And let's not pretend they hate that your name carries weight now. Hate that their laughter couldn't erase you. Hate that their doubts couldn't dissolve you. Your impact echoes longer than their applause, stronger than their noise, louder than their lies. You became unforgettable by refusing to bow. They envy it, they despise it, but most of all, they fear it, because deep down they know they could never have endured what you did. They weren't built for it. They weren't meant for it. The truth, you were forged in places no one else dared to survive. You walked through the fire they'd cry about from a distance. You built your crown out of ashes they'd choke on. They thought you were fragile glass. Turns out, you were steel sharpening itself in silence. And when you finally revealed yourself, the room shifted. People who once laughed now stare. People who once doubted now whisper. People who once dismissed you now can't stop thinking about you. Your evolution wasn't luck. It was madness. It was obsession. It was the refusal to die quiet. Every insult was a match. Every betrayal was gasoline. Every loss was oxygen. And now you burn brighter than ever. So bright it blinds them. So bright it leaves marks they can't scrub away. They'll try to look away, but the truth of your survival sears their eyelids shut. You remind them of what they'll never be and what you'll always remain. So now, your name doesn't just carry weight. It carries memory. It carries rebellion. It carries every secret they tried to bury. When it's spoken, it doesn't sound like a name anymore. It sounds like a warning, a pulse of chaos, a siren of defiance. And they know, whether whispered in fear or shouted in rage, your name means one thing: impact. The kind that can't be erased no matter how much they wish it could be. Pain isn't a curse, it's a forge. Every strike against you was a hammer shaping steel. They thought breaking you would end you, but it only revealed the monster underneath. Rage became your teacher. Betrayal became your scripture of survival. You didn't drown in the darkness. You built gills and learned to breathe in it. That's why you walk different. That's why you feel different. Your scars are pretty, and they're not meant to be. They are warnings carved into your flesh, memories engraved into your mind. Each one is a reminder of how many storms you've outlived, and you wear them like war paint, not to look strong, but to remind the world you are strong. They can cover their weaknesses with lies. You expose your wounds and turn them into armor. Every ounce of humiliation they threw at you, you swallowed it like poison and turned it into fuel. That venom now runs in your veins, but instead of killing you, it powers you. It's why your eyes carry a fire they can't look into. It's why your voice cuts deeper than a blade. They tried to bury your rage, but rage doesn't rot, it mutates. And you became the proof. Look at their faces when you rise. They don't just see you, they see the echoes of everything they did to you. They remember the jokes, the whispers, the daggers in the dark, and now they choke on the weight of it, because every move you make proves them wrong. Their laughter turned into silence. Their silence turned into fear. And their fear, it became your crown. You're not polite about your pain. You don't dress it up in flowers. You let it bleed, raw and unapologetic. Because the truth is, pain isn't meant to be hidden. It's meant to be weaponized. And you've weaponized it to perfection. That's why when you walk into the room, the temperature shifts. Everyone feels it, but nobody says it. They know what you carry, even if they don't dare name it. So remember this, your name got heavier because it's soaked in rage, sharpened by scars, and armored by survival. It isn't just a name anymore. It's a verdict. It's proof that suffering didn't destroy you, it sculpted you. And when they hear it now, they don't just hear a sound. They hear a storm that refuses to die. Every time they see you, they flinch. Not because you touch them, but because you expose them. You've become the mirror they can't bear to stand in front of. Your existence reflects their cowardice, their wasted years, their abandoned potential. It's not you they hate, it's the truth you remind them of. You don't even have to speak. Your silence screams louder than their noise ever could. They measure themselves against you in secret. In their heads they ask, why didn't I endure like that? Why didn't I rise like that? And the answer crushes them. They didn't have the spine, they didn't have the obsession, they didn't have the fire. You embody everything they ran from. And when they look at you, they're forced to admit they chose weakness. Your presence is a confrontation. It suffocates their excuses, strips them of illusions, and burns their comfortable lies. You're not an inspiration to them. You're a punishment. A constant reminder that they could have been more, but they settled for less. You walk into the room, and suddenly, the ground under their feet feels thinner. Because deep down, they know you're the standard now. And it isn't about fame, it isn't about applause. It's about the weight of aura. They talk louder when you're near, trying to cover the sound of their own insecurity. They mock you in public, but secretly, they study your every move. They try to find cracks. They try to convince themselves you're just like them. But the truth gnaws at them. You're not. You've become untouchable. That's the real terror. You're not just better. You're proof that better exists. Proof that no excuse can survive exposure. Proof that growth is possible if one is willing to bleed for it. And they can't handle that proof, because it dismantles the walls they've built around their fragile pride. So, they resent you, they reject you, but they can't erase you. They reject you. And that's why your name now carries the weight of confrontation. It's not just syllables. It's a reflection they can't escape. When they hear it, it cuts through them like glass. It makes them shift in their seats. It makes them question their own reflection. And the worst part? That reflection stares back at them with your eyes. You are not the same creature they remember. That version of you is dead, buried under the ashes of your own reinvention. Every day you kill who you were and step into who you're becoming. That constant evolution unsettles them because they can't keep up. They stay the same, predictable and stale, while you change shape like smoke slipping through their fingers. They can't pin you down, and that terrifies them. They expected you to stay wounded, to stay broken, to stay small enough for them to handle, but instead, you outgrew their imagination. You turned your silence into strategy, your scars into momentum. You didn't crawl back, you rose back as something they couldn't recognize. The more you evolve, the less they understand you, and fear always begins with what we don't understand. Your growth dismantles their excuses. They said it wasn't possible. You did it. They said you'd never recover. You exceeded them. They said you'd vanish. You became unforgettable. Every step forward forces them to face the truth. They wasted their chances. They repeated their cycles. While they kept spinning, you broke free. And now, they're stuck watching your shadows stretch further than their reach. This is why they whisper, why they scheme, why they hope for your downfall. It's not because you've hurt them. It's because you've outpaced them. Your evolution is a constant reminder that comfort kills. You chose chaos. You chose pain. You chose growth at any cost. And now, you've become untouchable in ways they'll never experience. That gap grows wider every day, and they know it. They try to downplay your rise. Call it luck, call it timing, call it anything but truth. But deep down, they feel the shift. They can't deny the transformation. It's in your posture, your voice, the way you carry the air around you. You don't beg for respect anymore. You radiate it, and the ones who used to doubt you, they now orbit you, pulled by your gravity, unable to escape. So when they speak your name now, it isn't casual, it's heavy. It rolls off their tongue like a confession. It carries resentment, envy, admiration, and fear, all tangled together. Your evolution stamped weight onto those letters, and that weight crushes anyone still stuck in their old skin, while you step into yours like armor. Not every crown shines. Some crowns are built from scars, sharpened edges, and the chaos of survival. Yours isn't made of gold. It's forged in silence, in nights where you bled, in battles nobody saw. That's why it's heavier. That's why it bends the air around you. Authority wasn't gifted to you. It was seized, clawed, ripped from the jaws of those who doubted you. You didn't wait for recognition. You made the world bow without asking. People feel it even if they don't understand it. The tension in their shoulders when you enter. The hush that drops when you speak. They don't see a crown, but they feel the gravity. It's unspoken power, the kind you can't fake, the kind you can't buy. You've become the storm they sense before it hits, the shadow they can't ignore, even in the brightest room. That's your crown. Presence itself. The truth is, this crown doesn't make you untouchable. It makes you dangerous. Because you know what it cost. You know what it took. You've seen the fire it demanded, the blood it swallowed. You carry that history like armor. And when they look at you, they don't just see who you are now. They feel the ghosts of everything you survived pressing down behind you. This is why they can't mock you anymore, why their insults collapse under the weight of your aura. You've gone beyond their petty words, beyond their shallow judgments. You carry yourself like someone who doesn't need validation, because you've already validated yourself in the darkest crucibles, and that unsettles them. Because they realize they still chase approval, while you conquered it. Your crown doesn't sparkle, it suffocates. It bends the weak, it cracks the fragile. It reminds people that power doesn't always look beautiful. Sometimes it looks brutal. And you've embraced that brutality. You've made it your throne. You sit in shadows comfortably, because shadows bow to you now. They follow your every step like loyal subjects. So when your name is spoken, it's not just a label, it's a title. A crown without jewels, a throne without ceremony. It carries weight because it carries conquest. And they know, no matter how much they resist, the shadow of your crown stretches further than their light ever could. Wow. And then you find, folks, your name isn't floating in the air. It's etched into the walls of time. You didn't just pass through. You carved yourself into memory, left marks too deep to erase. They thought your story would fade, disappear like smoke in the wind. Instead, it lingers like fire in the lungs, impossible to ignore. You're no longer a chapter. They realize you've become the entire warning label on the book of their lives. A rumor about you carries electricity. Every whisper is sharpened by fear, envy, or awe. They may twist the story, but the truth always bleeds through. You left an impact they can't scrub out. Their denial is loud, but their silence is louder. Because even when they don't speak your name, they think it, they feel it. It haunts them like a rhythm they can't stop hearing. You turned your life into a weapon, against doubt, against weakness, against the voices that tried to choke you. And now you've become proof that scars can outlive shame. Your presence isn't inspiration, it's intimidation. It forces people to confront what they've buried, what they've wasted, what they fear they'll never become. Your name doesn't motivate them, it dismantles them. And that's power. What terrifies them most isn't what you've done, it's what you're still capable of. You've already proven them wrong, but you're not finished. Your story isn't sealed. It's unfolding in real time, unpredictable, relentless, and every move you make adds weight to your legacy. You've become the storm they can't forecast, the shadow they can't measure. That unpredictability makes you eternal in their mind. Legacy isn't about statues or applause. It's about scars left on reality itself, and you've left plenty. Every enemy remembers, every doubter remembers, every fake supporter who tried to cage you remembers. They'll tell the story differently, but the ending is the same. You became heavier than their opinions, larger than their limits. That's why your name now drips with consequence. So when it's spoken in rooms you'll never step into, it won't sound like flattery. It will sound like a warning, a symbol of rebellion, a scar carved into their memory. Your legacy isn't waiting for permission. It's already written, already echoing, already burning into history. And the weight of it will crush anyone foolish enough to forget who you are.